All right. So if anyone's noticed, we've spent a lot of time the past little while talking about AI in a lot of different ways, from how it can actually hurt your performance, kill your creativity, but then there's ways it can actually challenge you, make you stronger, make you better in terms of running your business, and trying to really cut through the areas where you can find the best places for leverage of AI and automation and things like that. And in true to form, we talk a lot about, where automation and AI kick in to help alleviate constraints. Well, one of the biggest constraints that most businesses, I think it's about 70% of businesses actually have, it's actually on the demand side. So what does that mean? Leads, sales, all that stuff that feed that funnel. So with that, we're going to dive into that today.
With that, we're back for another episode of BizMeds. We are your hosts and neuroscience business coaches. My name is Saad.
And my name is Darris, and we're here to give you the minimum effective dose to cut through the BS that's out there and help you scale your business faster and not just be some random talking head on the internet that really just jumps from topic to topic and has no actual in-depth experience doing any of the things that they talk about. So with that, where do you want to start?
There's so much to talk about in this specific topic, mostly because, like you said, to grow a business, you need to market the product, and especially right now in like the digital age, like there's so much competition out there. And it's funny because like I was actually just talking to a couple of people about this recently, and we are in a different industry. We're like in the business coaching industry, and like, you have your other peers that are doing similar stuff. But then you look at the laterals of like other businesses, for example, like the most random one that comes to my mind right now is like a vape shop.
Yep.
Right? There's thousands of different vape shops just here in our city.
Yeah.
And all of them are marketing different ways,
or not at all.
Right? And the guy that I was talking to, he's like, yeah, man, like we're doing about $8 million a year just marketing and like getting this out there, and it's doing really well. We got like $100,000 in marketing spend going on this, and it's going really, really well, and we're scaling it. And then I also talked to somebody that has a shop and does zero marketing. He's like, yeah, man, I don't know, I'm thinking about closing down the shop. And you can just see it on how much somebody's willing to put out their product in the conversations and the passion of like the business owner to the ones that are like, just, hey, I'm going to open the shop and people are going to come to me. Yeah. So the idea of like you build it and people will come, like, yeah, it was true at one time, but if nobody knows and your neighbor is advertising his product and capturing all of the leads in that area, no matter how great your product is, it will just be a product sitting there.
Yeah, and there might be a couple of things at play. You might have a better product and you might take a longer runway, because two things could be at play. You might have one of those guys might do a lot of marketing, so they just have a lot of awareness, so people think that's the de facto that they go to, right? But maybe their service and everything else is not so great. But you have this other one that doesn't do any marketing, and they're just a really slow burn, but they have way better customer experience, all that stuff. But it's the amount of runway that you have to be able to feed both of those approaches, right?
Yeah.
So ideally you have a great product, amazing things, and you're getting people that have awareness about you right off the bat, so that you can build that experience, and then you kind of like mitigate both of those, or you reduce the probability that you're going to end up like either one of those guys. So what are you seeing in terms of, I mean, this is probably an easy question, but it's in terms of AI and its impact on marketing.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'll just reframe it a little bit for the audience, and that it's really around like when we're talking about the AIM framework, automation, insight mastery. Automation can happen in any area or constraint of the business. A lot of the stuff that we've done and a lot of successes we've had has been on the supply side of the business. So increasing your throughput, right? But there's a whole front end of the business, which is demand. So demand constraint, which is all we're really talking about, right? It's the front end of that. And what are you seeing as AI been the real disruptor in that space that everyone has claimed to be? Like, you're not going to see any website designers anymore. You're not going to see any, digital creators anymore. Like, what are you seeing in that?
So, I'd be curious to hear what you think after I say what I say, but I'm noticing that there's a lot of noise, right? I'm noticing that everybody has the ability to do it now, and now it's becoming one of those unfortunate things that people are just checking off. Just because with AI now you can do it a lot faster.
Right.
So the idea of like, hey, I got to do some marketing. It's like, hey, I'm just going to get AI to just push something out there.
Right.
Instead of being a lot more critical and thinking about like, what is it that you're trying to market and who your audience is going to be, and spending a little bit more time on the upfront thinking side of it. Whereas now people are like, hey, Claude, just give me an idea on what I should market. And Claude's just going to use like, obviously LLM, right? It's going to use different ideas from like 20 different places and just give you the average best one.
Yep.
And this is going back to like one of our previous podcasts where we talked about most people don't take the time to think and read it through and then apply their own experience and logic and their own business needs into that plan and then catering it to what they need to do. They'll just take that template. They're like, hey, check it off. Claude, go do this. AI agent, to go do this. And now you're seeing 10 times more marketed product coming to you. I don't know, like if you've been on Amazon Prime watching some TV shows or whatever. So unfortunately, I don't have the premium plan. I've been getting a lot of ads. And a lot of the ads are AI generated ads.
Interesting.
And you can tell because like there's this super old guy talking about casinos and whatever. And he's very, very AI generated. Like just the way his mouth is moving. I was like, what is going on? Like,
interesting.
And it's just, the more I see those ads, the more I'm like, yeah, like even if this was, a really good product, just because it seems like something, some marketing kid is like, yeah, I'm just going to check this off and move on to the next item that I need to do. There's a lot of lack of thinking on what people are trying to accomplish with that. So that's what I'm noticing.
So, okay, because I remember, and this is not that long ago, it was Alex Hormozy. Basically, he was the first one that I heard use the term AI slop. Mm-hmm. I mean, AI garbage, I think when you were talking about it, immediately, that's what I thought of. It's just a massive slop of AI output, and none of it is, or most of it's not great. So is that kind of what, does that adequately describe? We just have a lot more AI slop when it comes to marketing now.
100%.
Yeah.
So sorry, just a quick side story. I'm not sure if you know, but they added that button into LinkedIn.
No.
Dude, like you can go through people's posts and there's like the 3 dots. You click on it.
Yeah.
It has all of those like unfollow, uninterested, or like not interested, and there's at the bottom it says mark as AI slop.
Really?
Dude, I've been ruthless just going through like this. Anyway, that's
that is okay. Well then, I mean, that's so interesting. I mean, I think I see the same thing. It's, you can do a lot more, but it's the balance. I think there is a line, and sometimes it's hard to know the balance of quantity and quality. And there is quantity that allows, like there's the idea of getting the reps in, right? And putting out. But if you are just literally going to your AI model, Chat GPT or Claude or whatever, and you're just getting it to spit out a million different things, like I don't necessarily believe that is, I don't believe that is high quality reps, right? Versus having frameworks in place that help you think through the problem. so that when you do prompt your AI to talk about like headlines, well, what's the prompt that are going to get you better headlines other than, because the funny thing is, like, back when we were doing a little bit more on promoting the 1 month day course and things like that. And funny enough, I was using, I can't remember which model, but I was using, and then I see now a lot of the exact same stuff popping up. And so I'm like, oh, I know who's using, AI, because it is almost word for word the exact same. So like, don't think that your AI is giving you anything special, because it's literally giving you, it has just access. So like you said, like the best average, right? But I think it's way more important to have a quality framework behind you to help build better output, because it also challenges the way you think about it, and to evaluate and learn the skill of recognizing better and better quality and how to get better and better quality out of it versus just churning out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so maybe we'll do a shameless plug here. So especially on the marketing side, we're going to have a special guest coming up in the next couple episodes to talk specifically about marketing.
Yeah.
And I like it going back, and that's where I think the most helpful things are, like when I'm reading and we're looking at resources, it's what's the frameworks, like what are the core tenets of what makes this true that you can use kind of like and apply in most of the situations. So like Alex Ramosi, he talked about the core four, like there's only really 4 ways that you can get leads. Cool. Okay. Which one of those, like which way are you going to do, warm outreach, cold outreach, like, the 4 different ways. And then there's different ways in that you can do that, right? You can make content or whatever it is. So it's how are you going to employ that? And then it's, okay, now you have that piece, and it's like, oh, well then let's just say you're doing cold outreach or you're doing content, whatever it is. And there's I can't remember who, it was a famous marketer. He said basically, like, for every dollar you spend, the first 80 cents should be spent on your headline. Like that's because that's where you need to focus to grab someone's attention.
Yeah.
But if you don't even have a framework to even reference that and even kind of help you prompt and think through, like, and start to judge whether the quality of your hook or your headline is, again, you're just going to end up, I think, with all that generic AI stuff that's out there that's like just going more and more.
Yeah. Quickly just want to add in, like, I'm sure you've probably seen this before, but like there's this, I don't even want to say study, but I saw this video of somebody, like 2 or 3 people testing out what the answers are that they were going to. So they had a chat going on with client, and they're like, hey, help me pick a random number between 1 to 50. And all 3 conversations came back with, I think it was 7 or 14.
Oh, really?
Because on average, when humans were doing this, they just were likely to go for 7 or 14, just because it's that weird number that people just immediately associate themselves to or like feel comfortable reaching towards. And again, lucky number 7. And like, so it's taking all of those studies and it gives all 3 people that exact same thing. Yeah. So if you use that logic and you translate it to the marketing side, and 3 people go in and they're like, hey, give me a business plan for like my marketing, whatever, it's going to give you a good framework. Like, don't get me wrong, the frameworks are great, but the plan it gives you is going to be very generic. Yeah. So if you don't spend any time doing any of that front end thinking of, this is again what we try to empower a lot of business for, or like what we try to help them with, is like the thinking part of it. Now you have tools to do the framework a lot faster. Yes. Which again we've been talking about since the beginning of since the inception of this podcast. Like, it's all about the frameworks. If you have the right framework, you just need to change the formula that applies to your business. Yeah. So what I was trying to say with this whole idea is that again, back to your point, like, it's using the average of what's happening around. It's not, AI is still not thinking critically. It's literally just taking a bunch of data and grabbing the average and giving you the most, like, safe option.
Yeah. So have you seen now, like, has there be any shift in your opinion around doing more, like, less polished content work out there and things like that? Are you seeing that come through as a kind of to combat the AI, the amount of AI stuff out there?
I'm trying to remember the most recent conversation I had about this, and it was exactly kind of that where the shift now is going back to, hey, I need a human again. I need
Yeah.
the human in the loop where they're trying to help filter out the noise and actually do some of the critical thinking.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing the people that are, I'm gonna be very careful, is like people that are thinking about the future
Yeah.
versus people that are trying to just catch up with things they weren't doing that we were talking about earlier this year.
Yes.
Like the laggards.
Yes.
They're now starting to do the things that people were doing 6 months ago.
Right.
And then there's people that a lot of, again, shameless plug, like a lot of the clients that we work with, they're thinking about what to do 6 months ahead from now, like what the environment is going to look like
Right.
and what they need to benefit from.
Yeah.
It's the people that I'm noticing, which is the majority, working with 6-month-old information, trying to do what had already
Right.
been tested
Right.
and failed.
And so for that, I mean, that sounds to me like, there's a lot of people just chasing fads and trends versus looking at really identifying solid foundational problem solving.
Yeah.
And so it's, and to be fair, like we were talking about this whole episode is around like the demand constraint. So your lead gen and sales. But I don't, like, honestly, I look at it, I'm like, sales hasn't changed, right? Sales hasn't changed in forever.
Yeah.
It's, really about the transference of value over the bridge of trust, right?
Yeah.
To quote Alex Hormozy, which is a fantastic way, I think, to look about it. Like, that's all you're doing is you're facilitating the transfer of value over the bridge of trust. So you build trust and you're transferring value, and that value comes in the form of product and services and exchange of money, right?
Yeah.
But it's built on trust. Like that whole framework of selling hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Right. When we think of when we've had a really poor selling experience, it's because we feel we've been sold to, right? So not a lot of trust, and there's been transference of value, and we don't really come away like, we feel like we've been pressured into something, or they just really slimy, versus when we've had really great experiences, it doesn't feel like we're sold to at all. Right. But then like on the lead gen side of that, it's really like the fundamental mechanics of marketing and lead generation have not changed, right? Get people's attention, find a way to contact them, reach out to them, tell them about your stuff.
Yeah, exactly,
like those really haven't changed. What's changed now is we now have AI and other methods that actually just dramatically speed up the rate at which we can do that and turn those things. So where it might have taken you maybe a week to develop a really good ad, when you can do more. But in the chase of that, I think we've just spun out a lot more garbage. And because people have offloaded their critical thinking skills to AI, thinking that they're getting some special sauce. Like we talked with a guy who thought he was, like, ChatGPT convinced him he was a math genius.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, so just because you can throw all this stuff, like, I think it goes back to that whole part of like, yes, you can do that. And if you're not seeing a lot of success, it might just be because you're just throwing a lot more AI garbage at it, and it's not in your content or the message, the compelling reason or your hook they're just not getting any better. And you're not critically thinking through that. Like, what do you think about that as a? I know that just said a lot.
Yeah, you said a lot.
I went
there,
through a lot,
and I mean, I agree with it. I 100% agree. Like that's exactly what is happening right now.
Yeah.
It's the thing. So we talked about this, I think, on Thursday night maybe, where I was having a little bit of that internal dilemma on, do I just blow up on, so I've been coaching a bunch of
Yeah,
students and
yeah.
like helping them out a little bit on thinking what the future needs to look like. And it comes back to like, think about what you're trying to do. Like, take the moment to think about what you're trying to do. What is it? And it's true at every stage of business that we've worked on. It's
Yeah.
like, it's always like, what the heck are you trying to solve for first? And so when you were talking about, you know, the different the different mentalities, I'm noticing that because of AI, people are now trying to just again, I mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast, just check things off, and the attention spans are getting even shorter.
Yeah.
Because the conversation I was having with the students, they were like, "Hey, I just want to like learn the skill that is going to be really, really valuable, and it's going to help me do a lot." And they were also thinking about like the marketing growth, and like they want to help companies scale and whatever. I'm like, okay, you need to understand that you now have tools that can help you accelerate a lot faster.
Yes.
How do you use those, and then layer in the thinking of what is it that you're trying to solve for? And it comes back to the frameworks of, hey, this is the business wheel. These are the different aspects of the business. Marketing being the biggest one that we're talking about today is like how to scale. And within marketing, there's like the aspects of like leads, supply, demand, interest, like growing all those areas. So my long-winded way of getting to the point is it's a fleeting art of thinking instead of like just doing.
Okay,
Does
so
that make
let me
sense?
let me translate that,
Yeah.
right? So right now, this is, and you correct me if I've heard you correctly, or maybe I'll try to interpret, is that because of AI and all the things now, right, we're thinking less and less critically. Like the true skill is actually learning how to think and think critically and understand how to solve which problem the right way, versus, you know, some underlying, we call it a skill, but it's very focused, and it's not a really scalable. It's not the true problem solver.
Yeah.
Does that right? So in that, I understand from the conversation, I remember exactly. So it's like, hey, well, I want to learn this programming language. That's great. Like, honestly, it's great to have a really solid understanding of the fundamentals of that programming language, right? Is it the most valuable skill? Maybe. If you're really geared and all you ever want to do is program, well, then you should go all in on programming, right? And learn a language that's the most broadly used and scalable programming language, 100%. But what is it, as you say, like, what is it that you're actually trying to solve for?
Yeah.
Is it because you want to go and build a company and help all these other ones? Okay, well then having a fundamental understanding of that is important. It's not the most vital skill.
Yeah.
Right? It's understanding the skill of how do I identify the right problem and solve that problem the right way?
Yeah.
That is a much more valuable skill to have.
Yeah.
And I think what you just said helped me kind of crystallize all of this part of the whole lead gen side. It's really around, like, it comes back down to the exact same frameworks we've been talking about. It's, we say, solve the right problem the right way. It's also understand, like, in that part of the business. So if you are looking at your business and you're saying, well, I don't know if I'm demand constrained. Like, I don't know if I'm demand constrained or supply constrained. So let me ask you this is, do you have all the leads coming in your business right now?
Yeah.
Right. Or if I doubled the amount of business coming through your doors, like, would you be able to handle that? No problem. If I could double the amount of business coming through and you could handle that no problem, you're demand constrained. It means you have enough throughput on your business side that you can handle all of that supply, right? That means, like, you don't have enough business coming through the door. So you're probably demand constrained. So it means you have a lead gen and acquisition problem.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if I said, well, I'm going to double your business, and you're like, oh my God, like, do you understand? Like, my business will break. Okay, cool. Where will it break? Right? A lot of the successes we've had have been in that bottleneck of operations being able to supply the volume coming through. And we just increase that pipeline. We find out where it's breaking or where it's throttled, and we expand the capacity at those points to increase throughput. So that's the kind of like the first layer of, which category do I fit in? So if you fit in the first category where I'm demand constrained, where I can handle a lot more business, fantastic. Now, which part of that piece is broken? Is it maybe you don't have an idea of which of the core 4 you're actually focused on? Do you know what the core 4 are? If not, you probably should get $100 million leads by Alex Hormozy to help you stand what the core 4 are.
Yeah.
Right. And then start building your frameworks around, okay. Because maybe your focus is just so scattered and you're trying to do all of them and you're not focused enough to focus on one and understand which of those 4 and specific of those 4 you need to focus on to help you. And then is it a volume thing? Is it you're just like, let's say you're focusing on content. Are you putting out one piece a day or one piece every 2 weeks? Well, maybe if that's the way you're going to go, maybe you need to dramatically increase the volume that you're doing. You can leverage AI to help you do it in the right way.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so I think all of what you said just kind of helped crystallize. It comes back to that skill, those frameworks that help you. You need to understand like where you are of those camps first to help you identify what the constraint is. And then it's just at every level, it's what's the constraint? What is it? The one thing, like the one big rock that's holding things back.
Yeah.
If I don't know what the core 4 are, I probably have an issue around like understanding what is actually involved in this whole lead generation thing.
Yeah.
And you need to get more clarity on that, or at least have enough of understanding that if you're going to outsource it to someone else, that you have enough awareness to ask them the best questions at how they're going to solve that. Yeah. How are they going to make sure that your cost to acquisition, right, your CAC is low, and your lifetime gross margin is high, and the ratio stays really high. Because you might be able to, we get your CAC, your cost to acquire might be like $100, but if your lifetime value of a client is $100, you're at break even. That doesn't even count for all of the rest of your operations. Yeah. Maybe it was really long.
No, I know what you were saying. I understand. And like, as you started talking, it also helped me like complete the thought that I was going with. Yeah. And it's exactly building on top of that. So going back to like the whole lead generation topic and like the marketing topic for this podcast, it does truly come back to like thinking what you're working towards. Yeah. If you have 4 competitors and each one of them is doing the exact same thing you are, and you start taking the moment to understand who your client is. So 4 competitors, 100 different companies that you're all going after. Out of those 100, 25 are something that you have niche like experience in. Change the messaging. Be like, hey, this is the success we've seen with these, like this in this area. This is what we can specialize in. This is what we could do for you. And this is how we're going to accelerate for you.
Just another level of like, what's the constraint? What's the thing?
Exactly.
And it's like, if you don't even know who your ideal client avatar is, then you're so broadly focused that you're not focused on anyone at all. And you're not hitting the mark with anyone.
Exactly. Yeah. And whereas like going back to like the student example, it's like, hey, I'm just going to learn to really be a really cool coder. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, who do you want to do this for? Like, what is the going back to the problem? Like, whose problem are you wanting to solve? Like, well, I just want to be like the best SQL coder. Like, okay, cool.
And funny enough, as we talk about, like most of this stuff just comes about by just asking better and better questions. Yeah. Right. That's really the basis for a lot of these things. It's, if you know the questions to ask, you can get to find the issue or the challenge like pretty quickly. Yeah. But you have to know the questions to ask. So I'm really excited because, we have a special guest coming in the next couple of weeks, which we're going to dive way more into the actual mechanics of the marketing and how do you scale some of these things? How do you use some of the technologies and, some of the core 4, what are they? So this has just been a really good primer, I think, just to prepare everyone to see what's going to be coming down. And so now we have a high level overview of like, okay, do I know if I have a marketing or lead generation problem? Oh, and I do. Okay, cool. We're going to talk to someone who could probably help with that, right? And who has done it, who has actually built a business, then sold it. to be able to do that. So with that, I think that's a good place to stop for today. Thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Darris.
I'm Saad.
And we're BizMeds and your neuroscience and automation specialists, cutting through the BS of helping you give you the minimum effective dose. So my mom, Saad's mom, we love you. Thank you. Everyone who's been along the journey, thank you. I think in another couple of years, Saad and I will probably be the same color. We'll have the same color beards and everything.
It will just be one person with two different voices.
I was actually thinking it was funny that we had Marvin as a guest who was also bald.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we have a type.
Where's Saad? Where's Darris?
Who's who?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we just want to say thank you to everyone for joining, and hopefully you found value in this. So if you did, you found it at least slightly amusing, you found something valuable, just share it with someone. That's all we ask. We don't get paid for this. So with that, remember, you're just one day away from the life we've always dreamed about. We're going to see you in one of the next episodes that has our marketing specialist to help you scale your business. See you later.